Hey guys, it's Adrian, and today I'm taking a look at TP-Link's Tapo C520WS Outdoor Pan and Tilt Security Camera. This is a 2K wired security camera with pan and tilt functionality, and it has very impressive color night vision thanks to their starlight sensor. It also has AI detection and smart motion tracking. Let's take a look at how well it performs, especially that color night vision, and see if it's worth it for you. In the package, we have the camera, power cable, mount for wall or ceiling mounting, weatherproof seals, mounting sticker, and mounting screws. This is a 355 milliliter can of pop, and you can see it's about the same height and not much wider than that. So fairly compact unit. Now looking at the front, we have the logo here, we have the camera module with the spotlights, and there is a privacy mode where this will just kind of retract right into the camera body to give you privacy. And of course we have pan and tilt functionality. Now at the very bottom here, we do have a speaker grill. And if I actually rotate this all the way, that opens up this area here. So you can see there's two protective screws here. And if I remove that cover, that's where I'll get access to the micro SD card and the reset button. We also have pre-ran wiring. So this is a wired camera. However, for internet connectivity, we have the option to use an RJ45 or Ethernet cable here, or we can go ahead and actually just connect this by Wi-Fi, and we do have some adjustable Wi-Fi antennas as well. To install the camera, first thing we're going to do is to run the pre-ran wiring through this pass-through hole in the mount. So just run both of those and then just pull the mount closer to the camera. And then from here, we're going to have to decide, do we want to do it wall mounted, in which case you're just going to attach the screws and put it into the wall, and then you're just going to slide this into place like so, and then secure it. Now you can see there's two screws here where you can secure it. And then if you want to do it wall mounted, then you're going to just rotate this and slide it in this way and then use those screws. And again, you can just use this cable and then route it through. So pretty simple in terms of installation. Specs include a 4 megapixel sensor capable of 2K or QHD resolution at 2560 by 1440. The camera pans 340 degrees, giving a full 360 degree view coverage. It also tilts 60 degrees, giving a 130 degrees view coverage as well. The starlight color night vision is good for up to 98 feet. We have two spotlights, up to 512 gigabyte micro SD card support, IP66 rating, two-way audio. We also have AI detection for persons, pets, vehicles, line crossing detection. So the camera is on and it's flashing. So I'm going to go to cameras, add devices, 520WS right there. And I'm going to say, I'm just going to connect it wirelessly. I'm not going to run wiring for it, just for the power cable. And I can see that it is powered up. So I'll click next. And now we're going to get our phone's Wi-Fi settings. Go back to the app. And I'm going to pick my network, and I'm going to pick this 2.4 gigahertz network, and I'm just going to put in my password.
Connecting to Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi connected.
So the camera is now added to the Tapo app. That was really easy. I'm just going to go ahead and start live view, and I can see it pulled up really quickly. So everything is working as it should. Let's take a look at the Tapo app. So I'll tap into the camera and pay attention to how quickly live view loads up. Considering I'm on Wi-Fi, this is not hardwired with an Ethernet cable. It's quite impressive. Now, if you had more than one of these cameras installed, you could click the plus icon here and add more camera feeds. But let's just exit out of that. And then we can actually make this full screen, of course, and then just, zoom in to take a closer look at everything. And we have quick access buttons here as well. But let's look at this vertically. Now, I can take a screenshot. I can also go ahead and start a manual recording if I saw something interesting. But again, this is 24/7 recording, so you don't really need to do that. You can also change the camera's microphone level, and we can also go into the two-way talk here. You could just tap here to start talking, make sure the speaker and microphone is on. Now we can go into pan and tilt, and I've set 4 preset areas. So this is the front view. I have a preset for my front yard here, one for my backyard door in case anyone tries to get access. You can see it actually pan and tilted, and I could go and take a look at my backyard, or a good amount of my backyard. Now this is very impressive. You can see the field of view lets me have pretty much almost like 180 degree field of view combined, because I could go all the way from my backyard to my front door. Quite impressive. Now I can actually go here and change how fast the camera pans and tilts from 5 degrees to 15. Now if we go into patrol, you can have the camera patrol, preset points. And then if we go into pano, this is really cool. It takes a panoramic image stitch, and you can drag this box here, and wherever the box settles, the camera will pan to that area. I can also manually trigger the alarm, on or off. I'll just turn that off. And then there's also a privacy mode. If you go ahead and hit that, the camera will actually retract into the camera housing so that the lens can't see anything. And of course, you can actually turn the light on or off, and it's on a 5-minute timer by default. Now you can see right now it shows vehicle, so there's like AI smart tagging going on. If you don't like that, you could just turn the tagging on or off, but I do like to have it on. In the full options, we can go into detection, and you can see it's set to auto tracking for all types of activities, or you can track only specific activities like people, vehicle, or pets, or you can say, you know, never track if you just want the camera in a static position. And of course, you can pick the image detection types, you know, all types of motion, people, pet, vehicle, etc. Now, if you tap into any of these, you can see you can actually change the sensitivity here, and you can define, you know, kind of preset activity zones. You can go ahead and add, you know, multiple zones and then drag those around. I generally don't use this type of feature, but it is available if you want to use it. And of course, you can see you can change sensitivity. You can also go into camera tampering and, you know, set the sensitivity on here and then have the alarm trigger if someone's trying to tamper with the camera. But let's go into line crossing detection. This is a cool feature. You can see right now I have a line here and it's showing 2 arrows. Now, if I go into that, I can drag it. So basically, if there's any motion that comes and goes from this line, I'll be notified. And you can see, pay attention to the arrows. You can see the arrow just changes direction, so you can see if it's someone leaving that or coming into the boundary. And of course, you can add more than one of these if needed. So really cool feature to have. You can also set a schedule for the boundaries. So I just have it set to on all the time. You can see all the blue squares, but you can just go ahead and edit that and, you know, turn it off at certain times of the day. If we go to alarm and turn that on, you can have, you know, light, sound, or sound and light. And then we can also pick the sound. So there's some presets here like a siren, emergency, red alert, or you can set a custom clip and you can also change the volume of that. Now the alarm duration can be as low as, you know, 5 seconds long to 30 seconds, or you can have something in between, like say 9 seconds. We can also trigger the alarm during certain events. So it'll only be triggered if there's a person, line crossing detection, or camera tampering, and you can set these as you like. And of course, we can go and set the alarm schedule, you know, all day, only during the day, at night, or a custom schedule. Under pan and tilt mode, you can see, again, we can change the speed of the camera's pan and tilt. But let's go under patrol mode. And you can see I've set 4 different areas. You can set more if you like. But if I tap into one of them, you can see that, you know, you can set the layover time for as little as 2 minutes all the way to 59 minutes. And it's just going to cycle through those different types of marks. There's also an optional cloud plan that you can get, and it comes with, you know, a 30-day free trial. You'll get encrypted video and, you know, 30 days of cloud video storage. Now, I've been using this camera without the plan, and I find it fully functional even without it. Under storage and recording, you can see I have my micro SD card here, and I have a 512 gigabyte micro SD card, and that's how much space has been used up right now. And it is set to loop recording, so that once it's full, you know, it's just going to override the oldest clip on here. We can also set a recording schedule. Now, I have it set basically for continuous recording. You can see at the bottom there, but you could actually set it for detection recording, and you can set it to only record, you know, during certain days and times. Under video and display, we can go into the night mode settings, and right now I have it set to smart mode. The camera's dynamically going to switch between infrared and full color mode, but you can force it to one of the modes if you like. Now for video quality, I have it set to the max resolution. You do have the option for 1080p and 720p. And then the frame rate, you can go from as low as 15 seconds to 25 seconds. The image can also be inverted, and you can set up privacy zones if it's required in your area. You can also have on-screen information such as the day and time and the logo, and then you can also put, you know, any type of custom text that you like. Under spotlight settings, we can change the brightness of the spotlight. It's set at the maximum right now on my camera, and then you can change the duration for as low as 5 minutes to as much as half an hour. You can also have the status LED on or off. I like having it on so people know the camera is actually working. And of course, we can trigger the privacy mode that I showed, and you could see I have full Wi-Fi strength. Now, under notifications, it's set to on, and I'm getting notifications for all of these types, but you could just unselect some if you don't want to be bothered all the time. And then I have it set to always send these, or I could send these during the day, at night, or during preset times. And of course, if you pick rich notifications, you will have to get that, you know, optional cloud plan, and you're just going to get a thumbnail with your rich text alerts. The camera can also be shared with, you know, other members of your family as well. Reviewing video is super simple. I'll click on playback and download. And once that loads up, you can see we have 2 options here, playback and download. So basically download is everything that you've downloaded from the playback screen. Now you can see I have a color timeline here, and that's really based on the type of event. And of course you could zoom in on this timeline. Now You can see I have here just general motion, passing if it was a car. So, and then if there's a boundary crossing, which I showed earlier. So for example, once you have a clip, you can just tap on that. And from here, you can actually just go and hit download. Now, one quirk I noticed about this is if I hit download, it will start downloading automatically if I'm on the same Wi-Fi network as the camera is on. But if I'm on, mobile data, for example, it actually will not download. So it's a little bit of a quirky thing. Now, if that's a problem, say you're on vacation, you can't be on the same Wi-Fi network as your home. Well, what you can actually do is just manually start to capture whatever's recording on the screen. If I go into the download tab, you can see that it shows the download is complete, and these are all the different clips I've downloaded. The video quality on here during the day and at night is one of the best I've seen on any type of 2K camera. And you can see in some of these clips, I've had a lot of snow where I'm living in Canada. And on one of the days, it was, above seasonal temperature. So the snow was melting and then the water was dripping. And this is sharp enough and clear enough so that I could actually make that out. It was also really easy to make out cars and faces of people coming and going during the day and even at night. You may have also noticed just how smooth video playback looks like, and that's because I set it to the maximum 25 frames per second. Pan and tilt functionality is also full featured, so of course you can manually pan and tilt it like with most cameras, but you can also set a patrol mode where you add like 4 markers and it's just gonna go, between each of those markers. Motion detection and the speed at which the app would alert me that it detected motion was a little bit of a mixed bag. And what I mean by that is there were times where I was standing in front of the camera and there was a car going by behind me or some kind of movement. And because I set it in the app to track all activities and I picked pretty much everything in there, like, cars, pets, people, sometimes it wouldn't actually detect me and focus on me till it was finished with whatever was going on in the background. So just something to be mindful of. Obviously, it would be easier if I, specifically said the thing I was looking for. Now, whenever the camera did lock onto a person moving or, a car or vehicle, it definitely stayed with them and tracked them the entire way through. And I'm really impressed with the wide field of view on here. I could see, them coming from all the way up the road till they go to the opposite end of the road. Once I got an app alert on my phone and I tapped on it, it opened the app up fairly quickly and jumped right to the relevant video. Now this is with me using Wi-Fi. Obviously, if you hardwire this, it's going to be even faster. Since this camera is a bit on the smaller side, it only has a spotlight, not a floodlight. So, it's probably not the biggest type of deterrent in terms of, light output. Yeah, definitely people will see the light flashing when, the alarm is triggered, or they'll see that, it turned on so it knows they're there. However, this didn't really have an impact on night vision video. You could see in the clips that I showed, everything was really bright and well illuminated. So I inserted a 512 gigabyte micro SD card, which is the maximum supported. And I estimate that I'm gonna get around 3 weeks of video playback history. And this is with the camera set to 24/7 recording, full 2K quality at 25 frames per second. And that's really impressive to me because anytime I'm looking for a system, I want, 1 to 2 weeks of video playback history. Say I was on vacation, something happened, I have, adequate time to go back. So yeah, if you do get a 512 gigabyte micro SD card, expect about 3 weeks. And obviously if you get a 256 gigabyte micro SD card, it'll be maybe 1.5 weeks. Now, if you wanted even more video playback history, you could drop the resolution from 2K to 1080p. I don't really recommend that. I would still leave it at 2K. But what you could do is to drop the frames per second from 25 to 20 frames per second, or to even 15 frames per second. And I review a lot of camera brands, and it's usually at around the 15 frames per second mark, and it's still quite usable. So if you're looking for a high quality 2K camera that's, not too big, you can pretty much fit this anywhere you want, and it's gonna be rock solid and reliable. This is an awesome option. I mean, the 2K quality is one of the best I've seen on any type of wired camera, especially given the size of this. Both at day and at night, it was really clear, really sharp, well exposed video. Now, I really want to highlight the IP66 rating on here. I review a lot of cameras, they have great ratings, but I usually don't review these cameras in the wintertime. Now, it's mid-January in Canada, kind of like the heart of winter. We've had 2 major winter storms in 1 week. It's been very overcast, there's been ice, snow, and rain mix. And I've seen ice, settle on the camera, then melt off afterwards. And even throughout all of that, especially with really high winds, the camera didn't give up. I didn't lose connection to the camera. camera. Pan and tilt functionality didn't stop. It's just been rock solid reliable. So for roughly $70 US, depending on if it's on sale or not, you know, this is just a really awesome option. This is actually my first TP-Link camera that I've reviewed, and I've been super impressed with the experience so far. You know, usually when you're looking at a smaller camera body like this, you're not getting things like 24/7 recording, maybe because of, you know, heat buildup. Also at 25 frames per second, quite impressive. Like, I'm just really blown away at how stably and how well this works, especially again in a Canadian winter. So if you're interested in picking up the TP-Link Tapo 520WS Pan and Tilt security camera, I'm going to leave some links down below along with a coupon code. Also, don't forget to check out some of my other camera review videos, especially if you're looking for something that's not wired. I've reviewed a lot of solar cameras as well. And as always, if you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. It truly does help me out. And I'll see you in the next one soon.